We all make dozens of decisions every single day. But what happens when the stakes are really high? How do you get past just a gut feeling and make a genuinely smart choice? Well, today we're going to crack open a powerful framework that helps you do exactly that. So, picture this. You walk into the office Monday morning, grab your coffee, and then you see it. The latest report shows sales have tanked. Significantly. What's your first move? Do you panic? Call a frantic all-hands-on-deck meeting? Let's put ourselves right in that hot seat and figure out a better way to handle it. So, that's our scenario. A company has just been hit with a serious, totally unexpected drop in their monthly sales. And look, this isn't just some small dip in the numbers. We're talking about a real problem that needs a real solution and fast. Just going with your gut here? That's just not going to cut it.
When you're facing that kind of uncertainty, a knee-jerk reaction can actually make things a whole lot worse. What you really need is a roadmap, right? A structured process that can take you from the chaos of what is happening to the clarity of a solid solution.
And that is exactly where this roadmap comes from. We're about to explore an incredibly powerful tool designed for this exact kind of situation, the four-stage decision-making model developed by the Nobel laureate Herbert A. Seriously, think of this as our guide to get us out of the woods.
Okay, so what does this path actually look like? Well, Simon's model lays it all out as a super clear, four-stage journey that takes you from problem all the way to solution. It literally turns a crisis into a manageable process. Let's break it down.
Here are the 4 stages: intelligence, design, choice, and implementation. See? 4 pretty simple logical steps. Now, the framework might look straightforward on the surface, but trust me, the real power is all in how you execute each and every stage.
All right, let's dive right into stage 1, intelligence. And hey, just to be clear, this isn't about your IQ or how smart you are. It's about gathering intelligence, like a spy, finding and really defining the problem you're trying to solve. So the intelligence stage is basically where you put on your detective hat. You're collecting and analyzing data to figure out what is actually going on here. The whole goal is to move past that vague, anxious feeling of something's wrong to a super clear problem statement that's built on cold, hard facts.
And if we jump back to our sales scenario, this is exactly where it all begins. The company isn't just winging it or guessing. Nope. Their business intelligence, or BI reports, have flagged a clear, undeniable drop. The problem has now been officially identified.
Okay, so we've got the problem nailed down. Now we get to move into what I like to call the creative and analytical heart of the model, the design and choice stages. This is where we pivot from understanding what the problem is to figuring out how we're going to fix it. The design stage? Oh, this is all about brainstorming. This is where you develop and evaluate a whole range of possible solutions. And here's the critical mistake you have to avoid. Don't just settle on the very first idea that pops into your head. The goal here is to generate multiple, distinct alternatives to tackle this problem.
So, for our company with the sales problem, the team gets together and brainstorms a bunch of options. They're thinking, okay, we could launch some aggressive discounts. Or what about a totally new digital marketing campaign? Maybe we need a complete product redesign. Or maybe we just need to hire more salespeople. At this stage, everything is on the table. They're all valid possibilities.
And this is where it gets really interesting. We're moving from just a list of ideas to some real analysis. The team starts to evaluate each option, looking at things like cost versus benefit. So, a discount offer? Yeah, that's pretty low cost and could give them a quick short-term lift. But a product redesign? Wow. That's high cost, it's going to be slow, but it could have a massive long-term payoff. You see the trade-offs?
And all of that analysis leads us straight into the choice stage. This is it. This is the moment of truth. After weighing all the pros and cons, it's finally time to make a decision, to select the single best path forward that really aligns with what the company is trying to achieve.
So, management looks at the data, and they make the call. And interestingly, they decide not to pick just one thing. Instead, they go with a strategic, two-pronged approach: the discount offers to get an immediate boost, and that new digital marketing campaign to build some sustained growth for the future. Boom, the choice is made.
A great decision on paper is, well, it's totally worthless if it's never actually put into action. And that brings us to the final and, you could argue, the most critical stage of all, implementation and review. This is where the rubber meets the road, where the plan meets reality.
This stage is really about 2 key things: doing and then checking. First, you have to implement the solution you chose. That means actually allocating the resources, getting the team moving, and executing the plan. But then, and this is just as important, you have to monitor the results to see if it's working the way you thought it would. And that is exactly what our company does. The marketing team springs into action. The new discount codes go live on the website, and those new digital ads start popping up all over the internet. The plan is officially in motion.
Now, here comes that crucial review part of the process. See, the team doesn't just launch this thing and then cross their fingers and hope for the best. No way. They track the results. They had expected a moderate increase in sales, but what actually happened? The results were even better. Sales showed a significant improvement. Now that is what you call a success.
And this right here creates a really powerful feedback loop. Because the strategy worked, they're going to continue it. But what if it had failed? Well, the model tells them exactly what to do. Take corrective action. Maybe that means going all the way back to the design stage to pick a different option. It's a system that is literally built for continuous improvement.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Simon's model gives you a clear, logical, step-by-step process for making tough decisions. It takes a big, messy, overwhelming problem and breaks it down into these manageable, actionable stages. And that empowers pretty much anyone to make way more rational and effective decisions.
So that really just leaves one final question. And this one's for you. Think about it. What's the biggest, messiest decision on your plate right now? And how could applying these 4 simple stages, intelligence, design, choice, and implementation, help you transform that tangled problem into your next big success story?